So, I don't know what it is about this game which has changed all of your lovely smiter minds. However, the last time I did a choice, everyone chose the evil option. They were like, oh yeah, let's fucking kill him and smite him and grrr. Now it's 9-3 justice. What happened to you all? You went soft. But justice it is. There seemed to be confusion as to what it meant. Supposedly they both meant the same thing. I just thought justice was sort of unilaterally spoken for, where retribution quite literally meant, what, punishment? Vigilante, you can call it like that, but we went for justice. Start with his guilt, child, then deliver punishment fitting for one so vile. So we are doing whatever. He cannot get away with this. Rosa didn't speak, but she started to form the words in her mind, feeling them in her bones, giving it life to every thought. She took a small knife and carved a symbol on her floor. It didn't need much, a guilt spell. It didn't aim to punish, it only aimed to inform. We're a witch now? She needed to know how much guilt the man carried and the source of such guilt. If the guilt was concrete and came from a direct action, then she would know Guilherme did something to Catherine. It had been a while since she had used magic. It used to be the only way she could protect herself from the world. Mother had taught her, and now Mother guided her as she cast her spell. She needed a possession of the man. Rosa opted for his voice? That's not an object. I thought you meant a little more tangible than that. Still fresh from memory. She focused on the last conversation they shared. If you need something to hate, I will take care of you. I need you. His words made Rosa feel distress and confusion. Always it was this way with him. The feeling wasn't foreign, it had been there for years. I will always be there for you. Rosa felt a violent force upturn her stomach. It was that horrid lurch just before vomiting. But I saw a, red screen. That's normally bad. That sort of means red flashed in your eyes. You failed. The spell collapsed in her brain. Focus, idiot child, or use your chance. Rosa tried again. This time she focused on Guilherme's eyes. Cold, like flints of steel, dark and fathomless. No grief except, perhaps, for the situation. No Catherine, no pain of loss. Or loss. This didn't matter to her. Their relationship was dying anyway. Where was his guilt? Rosa dug deeper. She increased the chanting of her lips. No torment, no uncertainty, no guilt. Did the spell fail again? She searched once more and found nothing. There was no guilt in Guilherme's eyes. She could stop the spell now, knowing that he was innocent. If the spell had worked, then Guilherme was blameless, but this absence was most disturbing. Rosa desperately pushed her mind further, almost wishing there were traces hiding beyond her reach. Guilt should be present in any loss, no matter how little. Don't we blame ourselves for our own loss? No, quite difficult to avoid that. Don't we hate ourselves and punish ourselves even if it wasn't our fault? No. It didn't have to be real, but we need guilt to feel pain. But Guilherme didn't have a sliver of guilt. The vicious pain took hold of her again, squeezing her stomach with murderous intent. The pain was so great, Rosa wasn't sure if the spell had failed or succeeded. Something is wrong. Before Rosa could agree with Mother, she felt a sharp pain in her throat. Rosa clutched her neck, scratching. A sharp, jagged lump was blocking her breathing. She could feel its edges crawl up her windpipe, tearing the soft walls as it moved about. The pain did not stop. Oh God, Rosa felt her knees and gagged. Huge drips of blood-spotted spit ran down her chin. She thrashed about like a woman being strangled. Hang on! Did you smiters know this, and you actually did secretly want to smite someone, so you chose justice? Mother remained calm, unaffected by Rosa's distress. Rosa was about to expel whatever it was. Tears ran down her face. The horrible acidic taste coated her tongue. Finally, she opened her mouth and forced the vile thing out. She kept her eyes shut, afraid to look at whatever had come out of her. But the choking feeling gripped her, and she puked again. The liquid dripping down her mouth thickened and congealed. It wasn't spit anymore, but blood. It gathered around her knees in a growing pool. Rosa panted. Every breath was laced with pain. Ah! I feel like I want to protect my body whilst I read this. Jesus. But the gruesome effect had finally stopped. She wiped the sweat on her forehead. Something on the floor reflected light. She struggled to comprehend what was in front of her. She reached out with her hand, and the prick of something sharp made her recoil. She tried again, this time seeing more clearly. Rosa picked them up with shaking hands. Needles? Oh god. Those are bad. Those are something you don't want to find inside of you. In her palms were a handful of long metal needles. She'd regurgitated them along with the blood and jagged pieces of flesh. Rosa examined them with a horrified kind of curiosity. She stuck one in her thumb and it drew more blood. They were I didn't think that was a question! Oh no! I've pricked my finger and it turns out it's actually a puppy! Like, what else was that ever going to be? They had materialised in her throat while casting the spell on Guilherme. Why ever use magic? Why ever use magic if that's the case? What the fuck is wrong with you? Why? Hey girl, look at this. I can cast electricity. Oh my god, what's wrong? Hang on, I just need to cough up some needles first. I'll be with you in a second. No! Oh, Jesus. Rosa wiped her mouth. There was something wrong with him. Something potent and dark. Or could it be that she had merely botched the spell horribly? Well, I mean, I did say that it looked like he has a mask on. You never know. She had pushed her limits this time. She had gone too far. But still a tugging concern was forming. Oh, God, you can see me... I'm trying to do this, like, off camera, but, like, needles in your neck. I can't help but feel my neck. As I imagine a fair amount of you guys are going like that. Still, a tugging concern was forming. It was as real as the metal needles in her hand. Rosa tried to stand up on her feet, but she was exhausted. Her knees failed her. She crumpled on the floor like a rag. We must get to the bottom of this. Are you quite all right, my darling? Now you see it too. There is a sinister force at work. Yep, I'll believe you now. Get up, we have a lot of work to do. We must find out what he is and stop him. Rosa stared at the needles in her hand. Who are you really, Guilherme? Someone we shouldn't be fighting with? Jesus. I thought that would be the end. But apparently not. Wow. This is a nice background other than this. I don't know what that is. Did someone paint a really nice painting of a boy and a girl staring into each other's eyes, about to embrace and kiss? And then someone who was pissed peed all over it and then smudged it. Look at it, Jesus. Also, that's very odd cheap note music for a piano. I'm no music expert. I play the bass. That shows my true talent. But I'm pretty sure that there are supposed to be notes so you know what you're playing. Did music advance whilst I wasn't aware? Clearly so. Rosa entered the room with a tray of pastries and a pot of tea. Her duties were finished and she was allowed a bit of free time. She thought of accompanying Catherine for today's piano lesson. I normally do say piano. I don't know why I said piano there. I'm not a twat. Kath, do you want some tea? The girl didn't look her way. She continued to churn out the bitter, melancholic sound from her piano. Rosa sighed, her shoulders slumped to defeat. She placed the food on the table. She sat on the stool beside the piano, twiddling her thumbs while her friend continued to stew in her foul mood. Is that a new composition? It sounds nice. Nowadays, you make a new piece every day. It's a shame they're all so sad. I was going to say, it seems rather befitting of her mood. Catherine didn't reply to that, but when she spoke again, her words were bitter. I saw them again, those degenerate louts. Have you got older, or have you just changed clothing? Hard to say. No shame at all, Kath. Alright, consenting damn adults and all that. At least have the decency to close the door. Sometimes I dare say that they want to get caught. When I walked in on them this morning, eating each other's faces, they had this look on them, like they were daring me to say something. Oui, do they want my applause? Very nice technique, sire. I very much like the way you swap your spit with my sister. Great tongue action. Why was she looking for any... Surely that's the kind of thing you'd turn away from immediately. You'd notice that. Christ. Well, at least we know that the sister got with her in the end. Très merveilleux. I don't know how to say that word. And he even has the gall to speak to me. Be a dear and put them on the table, Catherine, he even said. Like I am a soft-handed giggle mug of a maid. He wanted me to get annoyed, I just know it. Well, for sheer I am. I don't know what these words mean. I should, but I don't. Catherine turned to the tea and pastry, stuffing the buttered bread into her mouth. Easy there. These damn things, these damn delicious things. She said the last part angrily, as if she blamed her troubles on the food's relish. Rosa giggled in spite of herself. Catherine wiped her mouth in mock anger. What are you laughing at, wench? It's almost comical to watch you eat when you're angry, Kath. Don't think of helping, no? Hi, I'm really angry and playing really sad music. Ha, lol. You look like a knob when you eat. You like the giant monsters the detective enters towns and horror books. Oh, yes. Catherine made tiny squeals and picked up another piece of bread. No, please spare us. She adjusted her voice and boomed out a roar. The Catherinian monster of the deep doesn't show mercy to anyone. I forgot. It's based in France, isn't it? Makes sense. She dropped it in her mouth and chewed savagely. Yum. Annihilation is delicious with tea. The two girls giggled. Catherine's rare smile had turned into a rueful laugh, and soon Rosa felt her mood turning sombre again. What happened anyway? Aren't you annoyed by it too? Sister has changed ever since she started helping in the chateau. We didn't know her beforehand. How would that bother us? And now it's all Guillem this, Guillem that. As if she wasn't already married. Ugh. She doesn't even care that people are talking behind her back. They're calling her a two-timing slut now. I'm tired of running around picking fights with gossipers. She hasn't even visited home for a long time. You're too busy walking around picking fights with other people. Wow, you'd be welcome on the internet, Catherine. If ever this whole piano thing doesn't work out, go and visit Tumblr. You'll fucking love it. Father misses her a lot. He always asks about her. Father had worked so hard all these years just to give us a comfortable life. Now he is sick and all she cares about is that dastardly Marquise. Rosa shrugged. I am a little bit annoyed, but I guess I've gotten used to it. Their lives are their own, Kath. She didn't dare divulge more than to Catherine. But it was partially true. I like Guillem. He's a nice friend. But I love my sister. If they want to stay together, then why not fix this and have it? But what irritates me to my damn snatch is the way that they are with each other. Catherine recently found the use of expletives endearing in her speech. Rosa hoped it was a phase. Yeah, you don't swear when you're older. Twat. They're fucking miserable. Any half-wit can see that. Yes. I told Emily time and again to smarten up. She's hurting a lot of people, including herself. But as if she would listen to a 16-year-old brat of a sister, Even Guillem is depressed, I can tell. Remember when he used to come and visit us here to have tea? Or when we used to have picnics in the afternoon? We used to run around chasing rodents in the garden. You ran around, we just watched you get dirty, actually. That is very true, you knitheads. Back then, it used to be fun visiting the chateau. Nowadays, we barely even see him. He just stays in his bureau all day long, brooding. Is it something adults subject themselves to, like a torture ritual? What, not going outside? Nope. Pretty social when you're an adult. That's a lie. I'm going out after this to a shop. That's it. That's the highlight of my day. I really don't understand why two people who were clearly unhappy keep at it. Rosa did understand, at least some part of her did. She couldn't exactly explain how pain and love worked. All she knew is that it had something to do with an absurd, obsessive amount of hope. She felt Mother tugging at her mind. She loved Mother so much. Living with the Pyreid gave her an ample comparison to her former life. She had finally accepted that Mother was cruel, and yet Mother still gave her love and kept her from wanting. Was that crazy? Perhaps it was the only love she needed. Perhaps it was what she deserved. Rosa shook the thoughts off her mind and just shrugged. I know you are just worried about your sister, Kath, but they will figure out. Humans learn. Look at you all profound and shit. You read any good books lately? Just the riveting account of The Ugly Duckling and Bar Bar Black Sheep. The classics. Sure, classics. I don't know how you put up with it, though. I hate reading words. Again, Tumblr will love you. In order to write, I have to learn how to read first. I want to write. Why would you want a dastardly thing like writing? Why would you want to hit some crazy strings until your fingers bleed? The two friends laughed again. I want to remember things. I want to write them down. But most of all, I want to feel the way you do when you play the piano, Kath. Oh? The way you look when you play. You are passion and bliss in musical form. It feels like love, like magic. You inspire me to do something fulfilling and grand. Well, I'm sure you will. Why not write a play one day? Oh, let's do it. You write an amazing play, and I shall provide the music. We'll travel around the country and perform. Naivety. We'll make lots and lots of money and gain lots of followers. Come on. Now you're just pandering to Tumblr. Really? Followers? Jesus. We shall be known as the Parade Caravan of Wonders. That's not very catchy. Even PPCW isn't very catchy. Just call yourself sluts. 2 sluts. You'll sell so much. You shouldn't. It's unethical, but you would sell a lot. So there's that. Parade? Are you sure? Puns are the best, trust me. That sounds darn batty, Kathy. Ugh. From this day forward, nobody is allowed to call me Kathy ever again. The sound of a knock interrupted their giggles. Catherine, it's me. I need to discuss something important with you. Frustrated, Catherine pouted at the sound of her sister's voice. She turned back to her piano and began to pound a sarcastically happy tune. Rosa stood up to open the door. God damn it. Hello, Rosa, madame. She had seen little of the older Paris sister recently, and it astounded her how old she'd begun to look. So she has gotten older. Her once radiant face looked tired and harrowed, almost crone-like. Under her eyes hung huge bags. And yet she looked still quite dignified, full of pride and pomp. There was an extra rouge to her skin, and her demeanour was elegant. It was as if pride was her only source of nourishment these days. Do you mind giving Catherine and me a moment of privacy? Rosa gave a small bow. Of course not, madame. Are you not going to see what she looks like? Oh, goddammit. Rosa gathered her nursery books and squeezed Catherine's shoulder before stepping out of the room. Rosa entered the quiet room of the library. She was about to approach the table when she noticed Guilhem already occupying a seat. He was writing something in a book, something immersed in the activity. Rosa stopped dead in her tracks. Leave now while he is not looking. Just go in and ignore him. He's noticed us. He's not that dumb. Why are you so nervous anyway? Just ignore him. He doesn't seem to notice you. Unfortunately, Guilhem lifted his head and saw her by the door. Oh, hello, Rosa. Oh my god. You do not look like you're happy anymore, Guilhem. You do not look like you're enjoying life. Rosa took a step back. Maybe it was best to walk away as if this were a mistake. But wouldn't that be rude? He had already seen her, after all. But she had never been alone with him. It was just too awkward. But why not just go in? It was going to be fine. They'd conversed normally before. Yet that was because Catherine had been around to disperse her awkwardness. I'm so confused. I thought we went back. I thought Catherine was dead. This is happening in the past, right? This is just a flashback of some kind? If not, I'm so confused. I'm sure you'll all tell me. Now I look like an idiot. Guilhem watched her pace in front of the door in amusement. Rosa had decided to go in. She'd already embarrassed herself enough anyway. There was little left to lose. Besides, there was nowhere else to go in this big house. She has already gotten lost in its hallways, much to the annoyance of the maitre d'. The library was her favourite place. If she stayed quietly in one corner, Rosa was sure they wouldn't bother each other. She took a seat at the farthest corner of the table and opened her book. Oh no, he's actually standing up and walking over? No, you horrible man. Just sit over there while I sit over here. But Guilhem was already beside her, peeking at what she was reading. A cold sweat spread on her scalp. Rosa, that book. Rosa began to chatter nervously. I know it's a children's book, sire. I'm teaching myself how to read. I know Miss Commoners don't really bother, but I want to learn. So please don't laugh or mock me. Guilhem pointed at the book. It is upside down. Now we just look like a fucking idiot. Are you happy? You happy, mother? You happy, Rosa? I'm just gonna go to get depressed now and cry out of the room. Probably like Hanako from Katoshi. Imagine that. We're just gonna do that. The face is even there to match. Jesus.